Welcome to the Golf Spotlight. I'm Ralph Irvin here in our golf shop studio, and today we are taking a look at the new irons from the great folks at Titleist. But before we get started, do me a favor. Click that subscribe button right there. Turn your notifications on because I don't want you to miss any of our exclusive conversations. Now, here to take us inside these clubs is Marnie Inez. He is the Director of Irons Development with Titleist Golf Clubs R&D. Marnie, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Now, Titleist has just introduced the new concept line of irons. Give us a 30,000-foot view of what these clubs are all about.
Actually, it has its origins in a product called C16. But it was the first product for us where essentially my boss and the people above me said, we want to allow you to take the gloves off and basically create an iron that you feel like is the ultimate in performance. If it's available to you and you feel like it's going to help us make a better golf club, go for it, right? Use it, and so that's how we ended up using this material in that iron for the face hosel construction that we had back then, the amounts of tungsten, and again, just being able to put these things together the way we did. It also afforded us to learn a lot by doing a smaller run of a product like that. So you're pushing the processes, you're learning about new materials, and you're making a small quantity of them because you're taking more risk. And the reason why it's concept is that it's not quite, a fully flushed out manufacturing process, right? That you get when you go with something larger like an AP line or a T series line, right? So really that was the genesis of it in the C16 product, where the C also stood for concept.
What you've come up with, well, the face is the most notable aspect of these clubs. It's L-shaped, super thin, and that means a lot of ball speed coming off of impact.
That's right. And we're using a material, which we're not, as far as I know with the marketing people, I was like, we're not really disclosing this material name because we believe that we're still the only people who are using this material in golf. And it does have unique properties that make it very good for a golf club face, and trying to get, ball speed and COR out of it. And really, again, working with these new materials and these constructions has afforded us to push our suppliers to also learn, which then that kind of learning makes its way into our T-Series products and other products within our line.
And it's not just about the materials. I mean, that hollow club head design really helps launch the golf ball, doesn't it?
Hollow head affords you, again, in combination with that face technology, you're just creating a more compliant structure in general. So not only is the face able to flex, but partially the body as well, because when you're able to use, as we are in this one, a cast process for the body, right? So we have this forged face on the front, but this cast process on the body, and then you're basically relying a lot more on the face, but getting some help from the body as well. So you get launch from the face, you get launch from also the placement of our tungsten weighting. So there's a ton of tungsten in these things. So we're basically going to design our face, design our body to be pretty lightweight, as light as we can get it. And we're going to use as much tungsten as we can to, one, get the head back to weight for our swing weight target. But more importantly, we're using it to place the center of gravity where we want to. And because we use a heel-toe configuration, get more MOI out of a smaller club head than you would be able to otherwise.
And because you were able to engineer all the aspects of these clubs, well, it allowed you the flexibility to really create three different models. The CPO2 blade, the CPO3 that's more forgiving, and then the CPO4, which really is a game improvement club.
Yes. So we came up with the CPO2, which is a small blade-ish iron that has everything you could throw at it. You put it down, and it's like a true blade profile. Anybody who's played a muscle back before will put that down and go, wow, that's minimal offset. That's a pretty small club head. We had C16 prior to the release of CPO1, CPO2, and it was felt that, hey, you know, it's been a while since Concept has had a product in that size range, right? So, well, we got these new technologies that we're applying to this blade-sized head. Why don't we make another one for that consumer to be able to play something that's a little more forgiving looking, a little more offset, larger sized head. But what we found in this category was that there were players that wanted to have a blended set. And these two irons, because they weren't designed, you know, necessarily to go together as a blended set, there was kind of this gap. And so with the release of CPO2, 03, and 04, now you're going to see a much nicer range of products here that allows us to have blended sets for these players. With CPO3 being right in the middle, it can either be sort of a short iron, mid iron set with CPO4s on the top, and likewise with CPO2 being the small muscle back blade. You know, you'll find players mixing one or two CPO3s in on the top of that set as well. And then if you're purely a CPO4 guy, you know, those guys typically go to our hybrids when they need a little more help on that end of things.
The whole concept of the Concept line is innovation, and you're able to show off really everything you have in the tool chest in these clubs, aren't you?
Pretty much, but we still have a couple tricks up our sleeve. So, you know, we're always looking at new stuff. We're always trying to, you know, trump ourselves for the most part. Like we consider our previous gen product, like that's our baseline typically for, you know, anything new that we'll do. But yeah, I mean, it's a category that I was glad to see us create, because these products are fun to work on, they're challenging, and as an engineer, you know, that's what better combination could you have, you know, than challenging and fun, you know, because you're pushing the limits of everything you can, and you're learning a lot through these products, which then can translate into, you know, our more mainline products as well with what we learn.
Marty, if people want more information about everything from the Concept line, or anything from Titleist for that matter, where can they go?
You go to our website. That's basically the best place to go. Titleist.com. It's got everything you could possibly want to know about our clubs. And I guess you could also go to your Titleist Thursdays. You know, typically we'll have Titleist Thursdays at different locations. There'll be a product specialist there, and you know, these guys are very knowledgeable about our product. And if you just want to be able to speak to someone, which I know these days is like a rarity, you know, just put your mask on and get out there and make an appointment, and they'd be happy to tell you everything you want to know.
Marty, thank you for taking the time to join us here on the Golf Spotlight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We want to thank Marty Inez for joining us here on the Golf Spotlight. Now, once again, click the subscribe button right here. Turn your notifications on. We don't want you to miss any of our exclusive interviews. And follow us on Twitter at Golf Spotlight. Follow us on Instagram at The Golf Spotlight. Reach out to us. We're happy to reply. And follow us on the Range Podcast. The link also right down below. Long-form interviews with some of the great creators in the world of golf. And thank you for joining us here on the Golf Spotlight as we continue to give you the information that you need for your next golf purchase.